Wow, here we are at the Great Wall of Whole Foods.
The Great Whole
Great
Foods.
Wall of Whole Foods. Welcome, welcome. We are here at, we just came to a place that I can't think of a place that exemplifies more the idea of wholeness, purity, uncontaminated, organic than
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. Whole Foods. So while we out at Whole Foods, out in busy Sugarland, Texas, at a health food store.
Loud.
Yeah, it's kind of loud. The busyness all around us. Talking about
purity
as we continue in our series of the Beatitudes.
The Beatitudes.
Unlocking the Beatitudes for ongoing connection and joy in your marriage. And now we are here at the topic of Jesus's, one of the more, a lot of commentaries have been about this. The quality he now goes on to highlight, after highlighting being merciful and the reward of receiving mercy. Now he dives into blessed
are the pure
in spirit. So he starts it with blessed are the pure in spirit. And I know when you look at that word pure in all of the commentaries, pure in spirit meaning the idea of the same way they meet it in health food stores.
Oh yeah.
Purity is simply this. You ain't mixing nothing.
Nope.
It's
one ingredient is the best.
What is purity?
Well, in Whole Foods, purity is as close to the original with nothing added. Just that once, if it's honey, it's just honey. If it's water, it's just water. If it's coconut water, it's just coconut water without the sugar and the additives and the colors. So it's as close to one ingredient as possible.
And that's the idea. The root word purity that's used there is this idea of that. It's pretty much the theme of every health food store in America, right? You're in this contaminated, mixed up, GMO, pesticide-ridden, high fructose corn syrup world, and we promise we're going to give you something that is pure.
Yes.
It's got one simple ingredient, whatever is on the label, or two or three, and it's a whole business around purity. And that is the context that Jesus is talking about. But in his example, he's saying, blessed are the pure in spirit, for theirs the kingdom. I'm not the kingdom, for they will see God. Meaning, I think, and the commentaries I've read, the blessedness of when your motive is simply one thing. In this case, your motive is to see God, work with God, be close to Him. And that is your motive for being everything that you are in this life, because He is the ultimate reality we're all going back to anyway. So even in your role as a husband or a wife, your motive is one thing. I am here to make sure that my husband or my wife is close to God and I am close to Him, and we will see Him. That is my one reason for doing it.
And that's kind of tough, because the new way of thinking about marriage is, what do you bring to the table? That's what everybody's asking. So you like this guy?
Is he a high value man?
Is he a high value man? Is she a high value woman? What is she bringing to the table? So it becomes an evaluation of all the additives. Like, yeah, we're going to love each other, but is there some money in there? Is there fortune in there? Is good looks, good love, good this? And so all those things get added in. And so the one ingredient that God talks about of being pure gets watered down. It gets off focus. It gets out of, it's not the most important thing anymore. And so that's pretty tough. Yeah,
look, the one thing that Jesus highlights is, and remember he said about the quality and reward. The reward is they will see God. Why will those who are pure in spirit, that they only have one clear motive for what motivates them? Why will they see God?
So I think about us, and I think about how at a time in our marriage where we weren't doing so well, it's easy for me to point at you. I would point at you, well, what is Antoine doing? And why isn't he doing this? And if I do this, why isn't he giving me that? And I remember talking to a friend who said, somebody's got to be righteous. You got to focus on God. And so as I began to focus on God and not worry about what you're doing, I saw God. So when I would get anxious, like, Antoine's not doing this and that and this and that, and I pray about it, and then I'd see God move your heart, or you'll respond like in a harsh way, and I was like, Pam, be like Jesus, and I don't retaliate. I would see God move you to come back and apologize. And so if I had gotten ugly with you, we miss God. But when I began to say, okay, I'm gonna be pure and keep my focus on God, no matter what Antoine does, then I got to see God move. Wow. I got to see him change. I got to see him open doors, answer prayers. And so that's what it means to me.
Absolutely, I get it. Look, the challenge of the quality of being pure in spirit as a husband and a wife is to kind of like what Paul said, his greatest motive, I want to know Christ.
Right.
That's my only motive in doing this. That's tough. Because here's the thing, there's a lot of secondary gains.
Yes.
Secondary gains to being married. There is.
Yeah,
there's financial benefits.
There is.
There's the intimacy benefits. There's the benefits of you get to marry your best friend. There's there's moments of being married that I like high watermark of my life. And yet, the motive for being married has to remain one thing. I am here to serve and to get to know God and to make sure that I present this man, this woman, back to God better than I got them.
Yeah.
That one motive is the thing that has to be at the foundation. The secondary gains are awesome. Yes. I don't want to put that down at all.
They are.
But we've got to keep a purity, because the bottom line is, throughout our lives, those secondary gains will disappear.
Yeah.
Beauty is fleeting, right?
Yes.
All that stuff.
And disappointment comes.
Disappointment will come.
And health challenges and all those things. But if you can manage to keep God at the center, you'll see him.
You will see God. God will do things that you will never imagine. But never the secondary gains.
No.
And so we want to leave it with you, thinking about that quality of being pure in spirit. Why? Because here's the promise. When your motive is one thing, you will see God in your marriage, in your role as a husband, in your role as a wife. No matter what other secondary gains are there, whether it's whatever they can be for you, if you can keep that focus, amazing things are going to be rewarded to you. What's our closing question we wanted to ponder to our couples?
I think about what Paul said. What has cut in on you?
What has cut in on you?
You were running a good race, and now it's cut off. So what has cut in on you, keeping your eyes on God, that one focus, that one purity? What is it? What's distracting you?
Yeah.
What's pulling you away?
Yeah, what's the secondary gain, the thing that you're looking for beyond what you originally vowed on that day you got married? What has taken its place?
What's taken its place?
It's always good to question that and go back to it. And this has been great. Now let's go get something natural and healthy. Or we could go to Whataburger. That's pure in its own way, I guess.
Nothing pure about Whataburger. That's pretty creepy. We both waved at the same time. We both went.